Hello, good evening everyone. Myself Mansi Shah, working as a project officer under ECO's program at Center for Environment Education based in Ahmedabad. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the annual felicitation ceremony of Eco Schools and YRE program India. The webinar is being organized by the Center for Environment Education, a National Institute of Environmental Awareness. CE develops innovative programs and is committed to ensure that environmental education leads to action-based learning for sustainable development. Moving ahead, these are the few housekeeping rules that we request you all to follow. The entire session is being recorded and is scheduled to 1.5 hours. This is a webinar mode, so only panelists will be speaking today. You can post your questions in the chat box or Q&A session. We request you not to put unnecessary messages in the chat box. The webinar is recording and will be soon uploaded to our all social media handles and YouTube channel. Moving further, we take immense pride in introducing our programs, namely the Eco Schools program and the Young Reporters for the Environment program, that follow extensive and revolutionary way of imparting environment education. To introduce this program, I would like to invite Ms. Khushbu Shah, Program Coordinator of International Program called Eco Schools and Young Reporters for the Environment India. She has more than 9 years of experience in providing sustainable environment education, quality education, and behavioral change education. She also works with many government bodies and national and international NGOs. Welcome, ma'am. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Mansi, and good evening and namaste to everyone. I'm just going to brief you about the Eco School program and the Young Reporters for the Environment program. As you, I think, all might be know about the Eco School program and YRE program, both are started in 2015 in India. Both of the program are international program and which is collaborated with the Foundation for Environmental Education, which is in Denmark, Copenhagen. And CE is a national operator for both the program. If I'm talking about the Eco School program in a briefly way, so it is deals with the grade 1 to 5 standard students, and right now we have a 130 schools on board, and it aims to empower and provide the excellence opportunity to learn, to explore, to investigate the local environmental issues, and which are starting from the schools, homes, and the community. So Eco School program is based with the 7-step methodology, and we have 5 different themes under this program, which is water, waste, biodiversity, healthy living, and energy. So after the completion of the program, we have like, if the schools are on the exemplary work, then Eco School are awarded with the green flag, which is an international flag, and the handprint flag, which is a national flag. Apart from this year we are also going to introduce one another category, which is we call as a green flag plus category for those schools who have already working with the who have already got the 2 green flags. They are eligible for the green flag plus award. So now talking about the YRE program, YRE deals with the grade 6 to college students, and it aims to empower the young people for focusing on the SDG, which is the Sustainable Development Goals, which 17 goals. So working under the 17 goals for this program, and this is the program gives a platform to the articulate this environmental issues through the medium of writing articles, photography, and videography. Ultimately, it's an environmental focused journalism program. And under this program, youth could investigate the environmental problems and issue and identify the proper solution through reporting, documentation, and videography. So both the program under the both program, we have also started a campaign which we call as a Little Less campaign. It is a globally campaign, and in India we are also introduced the first time Little Less campaign with the rural schools, particularly with the Gujarat government schools. So for this year 2020, they are also going to acknowledge in the next session. And yeah, both the program mission is to enhance understanding of the sustainable development in formal and non-formal way, especially with the schools. We are working with the schools, youth, even the Scouts Guide, non-formal groups, and the eco clubs as well. So next slide. Now coming back to the, I think I already covered about our reason and mission. We are also targeting with the national and local bodies, and our mission is to enhance understanding about the sustainable development. Now coming back to the flow of the event, today we have two interns. One is Miss Janvi Arora and Miss Anushri Upadhyay as a moderator for entire event. Janvi is currently pursuing the Bachelor of Commerce in the Banking and Finance from the Nirma University, Ahmedabad. She is currently interning with the CEE under the Eco School program, where she has been able to solidify her passion about the climate change also. She is also writing a draft for the climate change education booklet. And we have also second moderator, which is, her name is Anushri, who is recently did the biotechnology graduate from the Simsa College, Gujarat. And Anushri is also interning with the CEE under the Tide Turner Plastic Challenge. We are also going to explain about what exactly is Plastic Tide Turner Challenge in the next session. So yeah, I'm welcome to all of you, and Janvi, now floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that wonderful introduction. It gives me immense pleasure to be your moderator for this evening. Moving forward, this evening we have Sri Kartike Sarabhai sir with us. It is a pleasure to introduce him. Sir is one of the world's leading environmental educators and a dedicated community builder. He is the founder and the director of the Center for Environment Education. He has served on many committees set up by the Ministry of Environment and Forests of the Government of India, primarily focusing on the greening of India's formal education system and initiatives for biodiversity education. As an environmentalist, he is associated with several government organizations and NGOs and has been a delegate member representing India at several international conferences and discussions. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for taking the time to be here with us today. Now, without wasting a single minute, I would like to welcome him. We welcome you, sir, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Janvi and Kushbu, and welcome to um, all the schools and all the members here. I'm glad I'm seeing Madhvi from Canada also joining us today. In this, the family is extensive, and it's wonderful to see everyone here. As Kushbu has already explained, this is a program which connects us globally through the Foundation for Environmental Education, which is perhaps one of the largest networks of schools globally working on the environment field. And so what you do and the examples India sets are things which are shared widely. And we are a good partner to this whole process, which is required now of transforming, if you like, our societies, looking at the fact that these crises are really now felt. When we started this program, many people didn't quite understand what environmental education was, or what is the environment, what are the crises. But today, I think the position is quite different. I think climate change is a word which a lot of people use, understand. They might not know the full consequences of it, but certainly it is one of them. Biodiversity and biodiversity loss is another priority area. And thirdly, pollution. And in that, we are looking both at air quality, we are looking at plastic, specifically plastic waste. And these are the sort of campaigns which many of you are exposed to. The handprint which you see in many of these symbols, many of you perhaps know what it is, but it is a truly Indian symbol which has gone global. It started off in a school in Hyderabad, where we were working in 2005. In 2007, we at a UNESCO international conference, it was shared with the world, and it was such a powerful concept. The powerful concept is that everyone, even while you are in school or you are in college, you can do something which makes a significant difference. I think that realization that we don't have to first finish all our education and then start doing something. You can do something while you are studying, and I don't think we can wait till we finish education and then only start impacting the world. And I think the young people's impact on the world is truly commendable today. I think it's being recognized in all forums, because climate change, biodiversity, all these are not issues which are to do with immediate changes only. There are things which will happen. People are talking about 2050, 2030. The world will change. If we don't do something, these are the times when many of you will be our age. And you will see that, yes, I started my work way back in 2022 when I started doing this or that in your environment. And in climate change, for instance, we have to talk about mitigation, of course, where all of us work together and try and change things because we cannot do it on our own. But we also have to talk about adaptation because whatever we do now, we are not going to be free from the impacts of climate change over the next several years. We are seeing it every day. We are reading about it. There is a fire somewhere. There is a cyclone somewhere else. Temperatures are changing. Temperatures in Europe and things are similar to temperatures we have in India. India and the world is having some of its hottest years now. That has an impact on cropping patterns. It has an impact on water. It has an impact on migration of various types of insects, birds, and other wildlife which is connected with that crop because you have a disconnect. So these are things which many of you know about. But the interesting thing is that through joining both these programs, Eco Schools and YRE, you are actually making a difference. And I think today is a day to celebrate that, to share with you and see how wonderfully all of you have done. And to sort of celebrate that, to facilitate that on the positive action which is taken. The Littlest campaign also Khushbu mentioned, it is something which you almost feel ashamed of when we see much of India today. There are some of the most magnificent heritage buildings, there are wonderful things to see, and then you see all this litter just lying there. And I think for many people who come from a different society, one of the first things they notice is in fact litter, and it's gone into villages, unfortunately. And therefore, I think through our efforts, the Littlest campaign has also gone into rural areas, especially in Gujarat, as Khushbu was saying initially, but hopefully again will go all India. I think from tomorrow, there's a new plastic ban, which is coming into place, I think 1st of July. And I think that will make a difference. And I think all of us have to participate in that and support it. The YRE is again a very important thing because you need to know, these stories need to go out. And not just the negative stories, but the positive stories of what people are doing. And I hope that many of the YRE pieces written by the young reporters will find their way into the press, into the popular media, into television, into others, because these stories do need to be said, told, and told in a good way. We all today, the interesting thing is just about everyone has a camera, which was never the case earlier, because all over our phones have a camera. And I think, therefore, video journalism and also photography journalism is all possible. So again, wishing you all the best for the whole year and the years to come, and also today. And congratulations to all those who are being felicitated today. And we look forward to a very strong partnership. And I'm sure that you are all going to be an important part in the transformation which we all need. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for addressing and inspiring our audience with your words of guidance. Your input on transforming the way we think about climate change with the involvement of youth who can make a difference from such a young age was truly inspiring. Thank you so much, sir. Moving ahead, I would now like to introduce Ms. Madhvi Joshi, ma'am. Ma'am is a retired senior program director of CEE and has managed the youth programs. A part of the urban programs in the areas of waste management, sustainable mobility, and greening, and leading the rural programs. She was also involved in sustainable livelihoods and water management. Ma'am has over 30 years of experience in designing, implementing, and leading education and communication projects in the area of sustainable development. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. The floor is all yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it's a pleasure to to have been a part of Eco Schools and the Young Reporters for the Environment programs right since their inception, and also looking at the ways in which we could strengthen every year, engaging different strategies in which we could make it more meaningful for the young people like yourselves and the schools and the university professors who have always been a part of the program. And I think one of the biggest positive aspects of eco schools and the young reporters is the methodologies that provide young youth with uh, not just the platform but also the means in by which to make change possible at their own level in their schools, in their homes, but also around influence the others who are around them, their peers, and also decision makers at their various levels. So I think it's a very powerful these programs, and it has the potential to be able to actually bring about changes at different in different ways. And I think it starts with oneself, and where it's important to understand that when we are engaged in an environmental education program, unless we ourselves are passionate about the cause and want to make changes happen, we will not be able to influence others. So that's the first thing that I think the Eco Schools and YRE insists, that we expect that young people actually internalize what we are talking about. The second thing is also about learning how to make those changes happen. A lot of times, I think we feel very motivated, enthusiastic students and teachers, but sometimes they struggle in terms of, okay, we know that there is a problem, pollution. What do we do about it? How do we make the change happen? Is there any solution to, say, a certain issue? And that is where this whole exploration that the Eco Schools and YRE programs makes through these various steps that are being followed. I think that is where you can actually find those solutions and learn how to make those or implement those solutions. And that's very critical, because unless you see change happen, it doesn't actually, it doesn't inspire the others as well. So there is a demonstrable change that can be brought about by both the Eco Schools, and especially the YRE can then take it forward through the creative means and honing creative skills among young people to become opinion leaders and inspire and motivate others. And as Kartik Bhai said, that it's important that the stories get told. And through various means, we have tried to do that. One is, of course, we've done research through the Eco Schools and trying to understand what strategy works, what are the ways in which we can strengthen these programs. The others is through connecting to media and was trying to see where we can publish stories done by the Young Reporters for the Environment. Third is through conducting workshops for students who are interested in, say, writing articles, learning about photography. So these are two areas we have already conducted workshops, but there are plans by which we would like to really take forward, using the creative means to not just learn skills, but also understand what kind of stories one can tell through these media. And that is the most important thing, learning how to tell stories, and also ensuring that your action is seen and demonstrated. So I think one of the other things is until the 2030, the entire strategy is going to focus, as Kartik said, on pollution, biodiversity, and climate change. And these are the three critical areas that the planet today is facing. And also they are interconnected. And through various ways, we would encourage all of you to take it beyond just the words pollution, biodiversity, and climate change, but try and understand what these mean. And the team is also, I'm sure, will be able to help in terms of teasing these terms further and taking them, getting into the details of how what are the kinds of issues that we can at our level deal with when we are talking about whether there be lifestyle changes, whether it is to do with circular economy, whether it is to do with biodiversity loss and invasive species. So a lot of detailing is in terms of understanding of each of these issues will need to be also done. And we look forward to a very productive year again this year. And we will be ambitious as always. And all the best to the team. And thanks for having me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today and for your words of encouragement. You're shedding light on the issue of taking action as part of our Eco Schools and YRE program was truly inspirational. Thank you, ma'am. Moving forward, we have Ms. Preeti R. Kanoja, ma'am. Ma'am is the Senior Program Director at CEE India, leading the school programs at the center involving various formal and non-formal initiatives in the field of environmental education and sustainable development for schools. She has worked with a variety of stakeholders, including teachers, school students, youth, academics, community, etc., focusing on environment education in school systems and capacity building. With over 23 years of experience, her current interest includes the role of positive action in education in achieving the sustainable development goals. Welcome, Preeti ma'am, and the floor is all yours.
I think ma'am just messaged me. She lost her connection. We can move with the next session.
All right, everyone. So due to some technical issues, Preeti ma'am couldn't be here with us today. So now, moving on to the next part of our session, it's time to switch things up and play a fun-filled task. So to boost your energy for that, we have one fun learning activity designed for the day, which will be introduced by Mr. Shreya Sajeevan. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Janvi. Hello, everyone. Now it's time for some fun activity, which is click, share, and win. This activity is all about sustainable living and lifestyles. Sustainable living means prioritizing the use of natural as well as renewable source. For example, finding creative ways, growing your own herbs and vegetables, zero waste. And so there are many other ways too. In this activity, you need to identify those things being at your home and have to share with us about how much sustainable lifestyle you are following. To participate in this fun learning activity, you have to follow 3 basic rules. Number 1, click a selfie of whatever you wish to show us about your sustainable lifestyle. Second, follow us on social media handles like Eco School India as well as YRE India. Post it on your social media with a caption and tag us on social media. The winners will be announced on the next day. By the way, the deadline to the submit the entries is today evening before 7 p.m. Lastly, the best 3 entries will be declared as winners and will receive exciting prizes. So I'm sure you all are excited about this activity and all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreyas, for briefing about the activity. Everyone make sure to participate and follow all the rules. And winners will receive exciting prizes from our side. So we are waiting for your entries, and please make sure you submit your entries before 7 p.m. today. Moving ahead, finally, we have reached to that part of the evening that we all were waiting for. So for the year 2021-22, we received more than 30 green flag applications, and among them, we have selected the best 7 schools for the International Green Flag Application Award, and for and 12 schools for Handprint Flag Award for the selected themes. In spite of pandemic and hybrid schooling system, the school continued to show positive handprint actions with unmatched enthusiasm towards environment awareness. In such a crisis, we highly appreciate your action towards finding solution in the field of environmental education and sustainability. First, let's look at the schools who have received Green Flag Awards. For that, we have a video.
Eco Schools program congratulate all the participating schools for their extraordinary performance and joining helping hand in sustaining this world. Let we all together congratulate the schools who have earned an international green flag certification for the year 2021-24. And here are the winners.
I want to extend my congratulations to all the winning schools for their exceptional performance throughout the year. Next, we have Handprint Flag Awards for those who gave a near standard exemplary performance in the selected themes. Evaluation of our awardees this year was a challenge since their performance was notably exceptional. Here is the list of schools which have received the Handprint Flag Awards.
Eco
These are
Schools
the
program
schools who have
congratulate all
received
the
Handprint Flag Awards for their selected themes. A big congratulations to all the participating schools, mentors, principals, and students. Moving ahead. We have a new category announced by Khushbu ma'am already, that is Green Flag Plus eligible school. So now you all might be wondering about this new
Mansi, we have to show handprint flag award winners. I think this is,
yeah,
Yeah.
there is some connection issue.
yes.
Just a moment.
Yes, it's visible now.
Yeah, so do I need to repeat this?
Yes, please.
Okay. So we have Handprint Flag Awards for those who have nearly standard exceptional performance in their selected themes. Evaluation of the awardees this year was a challenge since their performance was notably exceptional. So here is a list of schools which have received the Handprint Flag Award. A big congratulations to all the participating schools, mentors, principals, and students. Moving ahead, we have a new category this year, Green Flag eligible school. So you all might be wondering about this new category of award, right? So let's understand about our newly introduced award category. As mentioned earlier, the Green Flag Plus is a newly introduced award category under the Eco Schools program. It is given to the schools who have performed exceptionally throughout the all years of engagement, achieved more than 2 handprint Green Flag awards, as well as continued their engagement for more than 6 to 8 years. There are 2 Green Flag Plus, which is one is Nand Vidya Niketan School, Jamnagar, Gujarat, and second is Shri Vashisht Vidyalaya, Surat, Gujarat. I extend my highest congratulations to both the schools for this achievement. And I would like to congratulate all the schools who have worked under the program Littlest campaign, and we have already announced winners of the LLC. So congratulations to all the principals, students, and teachers who have worked really hard to achieve it for this achievement. Moving ahead, we have winner announcement of the Young Reporters for the Environment. I would like to invite Mr. Shreyas. Over to you, Shreyas.
Thank you, Mansi, and a heartiest congratulations to all the winners of Eco Schools. So here we come to the second part of felicitation ceremony, where we will felicitate young reporters of YRE program. This year total, we have received 150 entries for 5 categories. Among 150, we shortlisted 17 entries as YRE national winners. I'm honored to announce the national winners of 5 different categories of young reporters of the environment, starting from photography, campaign photo, photo story, for video reportage, article writing, and international collaboration. So next we have internationally shortlisted entries. This year, 3 entries have been shortlisted at international level. One in an article by Kirti Gyamalani, A Burning Globe, and 2 photographs by Michael Cecil and Shirley Murjani respectively. We are awaiting for the final result from the National Committee. Once again, congratulations to all national winners as well as shortlisted national winners. And also a heartiest congratulations to shortlisted international winners. Thank you so much. Over to you, Janvi.
Thank you, sir. And once again, congratulations to all our Eco School and YRE winners. Moving on, it gives me immense pleasure to introduce everyone to the young members of our team here at CEE, Pratyush Sinha and Arushi Mathur, who worked here as research interns. Pratyush Sinha has a BA Honours in Geography from Shahid Bhagat Singh College, Delhi University. Currently, he is interning with the Ministry of External Affairs with the Government of India. He has interned with the Center for Environment Education as a research intern. Next up, we have Arushi Mathur, who is a fresh postgraduate from the Terry School of Advanced Studies with a master's degree in Sustainable Development Practice. With a bachelor's in economics honors from Miranda House, Delhi University, she has undertaken primary research for her master's thesis in the schools of Kamlapur village in Jastan, where the Eco Schools program has been piloted through the Little Less campaign. Let us welcome both of our research interns. Beginning with Pratyush, please share your preliminary research experience with the Eco Schools program.
Thank you, Ms. Janvi. I extend my gratitude to the CE for giving me a chance to uh, share my experience of working with CE. So my stint with CE was for 2 months. Was for 2 months specifically, from December 2021 to February 2022. I interned under Eco Schools Program India, and I really like the aim of the program, that it is very bottom up, very place based, and a holistic model of sustainability. And I would say it is very well suited to the Indian community at large. So I worked on preparing an impact assessment report titled 7-Step Methodology, a comprehensive assessment of its viability and impact in generating positive handled actions. So for that, I developed 2 questionnaires, which were actually tailored to the individual requirements. And so the goal of the study was to understand how effective 7-step methodology has been in imparting sustainability education to the students, how helpful it has been for the schools to facilitate and engage parents, society, and the other members of the local community. So in this stint, I was mentored by Ms. Khushbu and Ms. Mansi. I would just like to say that the association with them has been very rewarding. Uh, Throughout the process, they assisted me whenever I needed guidance. More like other than a boss, they were like a mentor to me and guided me wherever required. So I was very fortunate because I have been placed in a project that actually interests me, and the support and the care that I received is beyond measure. Their guidance and management have enhanced my teamwork and communication skills, as well as provided me with additional knowledge of various topics. So they have been actually very willing to help me in any way they can, and they actually assisted me in a way that my academics don't suffer, because I had my internals and other classes going on while I was interning here. The 2 months, I have learned much more than just work itself. The skills that I gained through the internship, I carry even today. And even after the internship, I am very much associated with CE. There are some random texts that I share with Mr. Kubusa and say, hey, what's up, what's going on? So uh, this was not a usual internship that we do. There is a connection. That connection is very much there. So this internship was very flexible in a way, because it actually focused on getting the work done instead of just sitting there and being there for the time and not being productively engaged. Uh, I would say the entire internship was a great experience, and I am honored beyond measure that I've been selected for the same. It had been a great learning experience because it was learning by doing approach. And I actually get to learn the working dynamics of an organization, something which is actually very much associated with the field that I am in. I am a student of geography, and environment is something which is what I study. So interning it one of the best organization in the country, it was definitely an amazing experience for me. And I definitely look forward to engage with the organization whenever the time persists. Thank you so much. Over to Ms. Arushi.
Thank you so much, Pratyush, for sharing your experience with us. Next up, we have Arushi. Please share your research experience with the Litter Less campaign. Over to you, Arushi.
Thank you so much, Andy. I have to say that it's great to see the Eco School and the YRE community over here. And having worked closely with the Eco Schools program, I would first like to congratulate everyone who has been a part of it. And I hope that the learnings from such an engagement stay with everyone who has been involved and inspire them to do better, especially when you go beyond school. I completely agree with you, Pratyush, for with respect to the kind of atmosphere and the environment he provided throughout the internship. And I was very interested in the 7-step methodology and the whole school approach of the program. And I connected with Center for Environment Education with Khushbu ma'am and Mansi ma'am for conducting primary research in some of the rural schools in Gujarat for my master's thesis. And the aim of my thesis was to address the approach of the Eco Schools program in contributing to experiential learning, or what we understand as learning by doing, in the domain of environmental education. So the program in rural areas is quite scattered, and this was the first time that the Eco Schools program had been introduced in 22 government schools of Gujarat in Jajtan and Kalawad Taluka through the Litter Less campaign. And my experiences in one of the villages, Kamlapur, as Mansima mentioned, and with the students of the 3 government schools there, it was truly enriching. And so I worked with students of 6 to 8 standards, and they were very enthusiastic. They were creative in sharing ideas, especially related to management of litter, and especially the awareness that they had of environmental issues in their local area, which I feel is quite commendable for such students to have.
And the commitment of the principals and the teachers and the entire community was also seen to be very crucial in ensuring effective implementation of the entire program and the whole school approach in general. Apart from that, I noticed that the teachers from all the 3 schools had adopted very different methodologies in order to avoid rote learning and to make it more student-centric to catch their attention. And I feel a few of the activities really struck me, more so for the impact that they entailed. For example, in one of the schools, the students had written postcards to their parents as part of informing and involving step of the methodology. So they had informed their parents about the whole school approach, the issue of litter in the village and the 3 Rs. And I was pleasantly surprised to know that one of the girls, she was in 8th standard, and she went ahead and wrote a postcard to the Sarpanch of the village, telling him about, this is the issue in Kamlapur village and how, it would be great to have more waste collectors, to have more dustbins, which were completely absent in the village. And for a student of class 8 to do that, especially in such a short period of time, inspired by an activity from the eco schools, I think that's a really great deal. And similarly with activities of, for example, prepping compost pit and doing something, making something out of waste plastic bottles. The students also learned a lot from that, in the sense that one of the boys I met in these 3 schools, he had urged his father to make a compost pit on their own farm. And he had also urged him to keep the plastic separate from the rest of the waste and to, tell him not to burn it. So, all of these, I understand there's a large gap, a large period of time that you require for a change in mindset and behavior. But with the eco school approach, if the efforts are consistent, and if this is the kind of learning that students are taking with even 45-day campaigns, I feel that speaks a lot about the program itself. And I also did a curriculum analysis, which told me that the books such as Joy of Learning for all the 3 editions and the Little Less lesson plan for the teachers, they hold a lot of activity-based approaches, which also ease the burden of teachers aside from making it interesting for the students. And it can, really help in complementing with the syllabus and the activities that are prescribed. So after all the interviews that I've conducted, I feel that, the strongest yet the most challenging step amongst the methodology was informing and involving and evaluation and monitoring. And I feel this is something that would also differ in urban and rural context, as well as with private and government schools. So when the program expands, I got that, this is something that would have to be very carefully crafted. And things like language barriers and digital divides would have to be taken into account, especially when it moves to the rural areas. All in all, I feel that, even though all of this might be time consuming, given all the socioeconomic factors, but with consistent and honest efforts from all the stakeholders, this can really go a long way. And I also, one thing, I understand that there are a lot of people on this webinar. So as, a young sustainability practitioner, I would just like to say that I understand that national and international recognition and certification is really important. It's very attractive and tempting. But at the same time, I would request, students to not restrict themselves to that and to go beyond, the incentives and understand the vision of the program. And yes, so given the Little Less campaign in rural areas, like बहुत अच्छा काम करा था. I went to Rajasthan and I haven't seen Kalavat, but I would just like to take this platform to announce the category of winners. The first category, National Best Waste Wise Handprint Award, goes to Dhundoraji Prathmik Shala, Kalavat, Gujarat, and to Shri Kamlapur Taluka Shala in Rajasthan in Gujarat. Second category is of national level runner-up schools. Virpur Prathmik Shala, Kalavat, Gujarat, Virpur Prathmik Shala, Kalavat, Gujarat again, and Shri Kamlapur Kanya Shala in Rajasthan. And the third category of National Best Mentor Award is for rural Rajasthan and Kalavat team. So Nitin sir and unka pura team from Rajasthan and Premji sir and the entire team from Kalavat, congratulations. And आपने बहुत अच्छा काम करा, मुझे as a researcher देख के बहुत अच्छा लगा. And I hope कि और भी आगे जाएगा and बाकी लोगों को भी inspire करेगा. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arushi, for sharing your experience with us. Before we move forward, we have with us Ms. Preeti R. Kanodia, ma'am. Ma'am is the Senior Program Director at CEE India. She leads the school programs at the center involving various formal and non-formal initiatives in the field of environmental education and sustainable development. She has also worked with a variety of stakeholders, including teachers, students, youth, academics, the community, etc., focusing on environment education in school systems and capacity building. With over 23 years of experience, her current interest includes the role of positive actions in education in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. We welcome you, ma'am, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, and a warm welcome and greetings to all the members who joining from the Eco School and YRE family. It's really a pleasure to actually get everyone together and celebrate this moment, the big celebration day it is, and it's really wonderful. So I would be just talking about how did we reach here. It's because we are celebrating a day where we are recognizing schools and students who have done exceptionally well. So I'll just take you through some of the things which goes at the background when we are looking at what you have done during the year and what kind of activities you have taken up. So I'll just share my screen. So talking about the Eco School program, already Kartik Bhai and Madhvi has talked about it, that what is this whole program. So you all know that's a sustainable campus program, which is an international program. So when we say that focus is on sustainable campus, where schools take part in this program and take up activities through 7-step methodology and try and see that there are certain activities done where they can achieve becoming a sustainable campus. Here are a few glimpses of photographs of eco schools taking action. So when we talk about action, it's all about, you can see in the logo also, it's about inspiring positive action, which is symbolized through handprint, which emerged from one of CE's program, which we were doing in Andhra Pradesh with schools. And this 10-year-old girl, Shrija from Hyderabad, said that why have to always talk about in the negative sense, that why can't we take some positive action? So this handprint comes from her idea, and then this idea became global when this was launched during a UNESCO conference in 2007. So now this is an international symbol, and many of the environmental education program has taken a leap, that understanding that children have that power, that they can make a difference and also inspire. So even some of the youth interns who were talking, and even some of the teachers whom we have been interacting with, they feel that this is a very powerful tool and symbol to help children to understand what kind of difference they can make. So it's basically not only taking positive action, but becoming also change agents who can not only take action themselves, but also inspire others in their family, in their neighborhood, among their friends, and even in their campus. So this is the overall core idea of when we say eco schools and YRE program, that we encourage youth and young children to become part of this entire movement, and then see that the message is passed on to the entire society. So how does eco school overall eco school functions? You must have heard about this whole school approach. So there are 4 components which is very critical when we say we take up eco school program. So it's a combination of these C's, which is talking about curriculum, so which is very important when we are talking about schools. And it's also important that we look into what kind of culture is followed in the school, and then taking the entire campus. So you cannot work in just with the curriculum or with the culture. It is also looking into how do we engage, how do we use campus as a tool to engage children, to educate them on about lot of things, which is like applying knowledge and then reaching out to society, because schools are core to our society. So these are the 4 things which we try to achieve when we are saying that we are taking up eco schools program. And similarly, the same philosophy applies to many of the programs which we have mentioned today during the program. So how does this work? So this simple illustration which is developed by UNESCO says it all, that it's not about just creating, following the like using solar energy or trying renewable resources, or following practices like having a kitchen garden or using certain practices. It is about engaging children in the entire process. Like education is a key, is a core. So we always say, Kartik bhai always says that education has to be a driver of change, but whatever we are doing. So in the Eco School program, if we are looking at taking action, it is very important that children are engaged at every step. It's not that school management decides that we want to do a rainwater harvesting and things, but it is a like democratic decided process where children are engaged and they understand why we are doing this, and that's why, that is how this 100 action can be taken from school to society. So this is what we usually see when we look at the entire this Eco School program in a holistic manner. Now coming to the evaluation process. So when we like schools take up this Eco School activities, apply 7-step methodology, and then a report is submitted to us, and then there is a jury of eminent experts who go through those reports and understand what schools have done, what kind of things they have done. So what we try to see in those applications is like, what is unique that school has done? Have they connected what the environmental issues to the local concerns? How it is the activities are done in a way that it fits into the system. Then what are the innovation done by school, and like not only doing the activities in a like just a routine manner, but also trying to see bring some creativity, but bringing some innovation and in the program is the another thing which jury looks into. Then how things are integrated, like we do say there is a 7-step methodology, but sometimes it is done like a or like we have to complete these 7 steps. It's not like completing those 7 steps, it's also about how do we integrate it into the system. We also try and see that in the reports our schools are able to see that it is not done as a one-time thing, like we have done an event, we have like done an activity, but it is looking it into the holistic manner, that each activity, each event leads into a broader goal of the school as a eco school. And then also once you have done a 7-step process and lot of activities, our teachers, children, even entire school campus, are they able to connect the dots? So this is another thing which we try to see while we are going through the reports and understand how schools are taking up eco school activities. Are they able to use sustainability lens? Because it's very important that we just not see things from the ecological angle. It's also how it has an economic relevance, how it has a connection to society. So all those things are able to be translated or transacted in the classroom or through other activities. And also whatever activities are being done, environmental education has to be in the core of the program. And how schools are taking it as a long-term vision. But usually we say that it's an annual process. School come and join the program and they submit report. So it's like 1 year or 2 years school are able to submit their application. But do they have a long-term vision of becoming a true eco school? That is what a jury looks into, and that is the evaluation process. In a similar manner, talking about young reporters for environment, there are individual entries from students who actually look into different formats of journalism, especially for focusing on environment. So it's like photo, it's about writing articles. So when we look into those, that quite a similar criteria we follow. What is unique in the entry? What is so creative that angle that entry has actually brought into? And then is there a sustainability connection? Is there a positive action shown in the entry? So these are the things which we usually look into, because you have got to know about the results, and you now you understand like what are the things which we usually looking into when we select these winners. So, and I don't agree with the winners, so I will tell you why. Because I feel this is a celebration of exemplary work done by schools, and these schools are basically it's a proud moment not only for the schools but also for CE and the associated institutions, that this is something like we have reached to a level where you can call it as eco school, and you have done really like on ground handprint action. So you have become today as a model or a lead school who are not only taking action at their own school level, but also inspiring others to take hand-on action. So with this, I congratulate you all again, and best wishes from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today and sharing your insightful thoughts on the Eco Schools and the YRE program and inspiring the students for positive action along with inspiring others. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, moving on to the next part of our session. It is very heartwarming to see our eco schools and young reporters for the environment achieve such great milestones. Let us now gear up for more inspiration from our eco warriors we have with us here. Today we have Ms. Anvesha Tiwari from the Eco Schools program, Ms. Mohini Arora from the Young Reporters for the Environment program, and Ms. Chetna Bharadwaj from both the Eco Schools and the YRE program. Thank you so much for being here with us today. First up, we have Anvesha Tiwari. Inspiration story that is coming from Anvesha Tiwari, who is a student from Little Flowers Public School, Yamuna Vihar. She enthusiastically participated in all the activities of our Eco Schools program and spread awareness in the community about her learnings and has brought behavioral changes with regards to environmental awareness. So, my first question to you is, Anvesha, what changes have come into the school after implementing the Eco Schools program?
Ma'am, you have not audible properly.
All right, so I'll say it again. My first question to you is, what changes have you seen in your school after implementing the Eco Schools program?
We had Eco Club in our school for decades, but true implementations, how to save the environment, started since we adopted the Eco School methodology. Example, saving electricity, use of solar cooker, 3 hours for conserving resources, eating healthy food, installing bird nest and feeders, segregation of waste, and many more.
Thank you. Moving on to my next question. Tell us about your learnings and experience from the Eco Schools program and how it helped you grow personally.
It has been a great experience. We have become more careful and responsible in using water, electricity, planting trees, segregation of waste. I also have feed our personal waste and personal connection with nature as the bird nest and bird feeder activities have taught us about coexistence.
Thank you, Anvesha, for sharing your thoughts with us. Truly, Anvesha is a student.
Thank you everyone for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, Anvesha. Anvesha indeed is a student with a clear goal of making our living more sustainable. She is confident and brimming with ideas. Anvesha is a promising young leader and is sure going to bring a positive change in our future society. Thank you so much, Anvesha.
Thank
Moving
you.
on, our next inspirational story is from Miss Mohini Arora. She is a resident of Jammu and is currently pursuing her graduate course in journalism from Bharati College, Delhi University. She is an active participant of the Young Reporters for the Environment program, and she is also a part of a debating society named as Chintan. Miss Mohini, my first question to you is, what motivated you to take part in the YRE program?
Okay, so let's be very frank. In our routine lives, majorly in youth's life, we don't really care about the environment or the climate change. But when the temperature rises, we just go on to blame global warming, but not its root cause. So ultimately, what we are looking for or we are asking for is a magic wand which can correct all the mistakes done by us humans from past many 100 or 200 years. This is what really motivated me to pour my heart out in words, and hence I participated in the article writing competition majorly. My motivation was just to write about the need of sustainable environment or the pollution problem we have, or even the hypocritical nature of people. Then I got the opportunity to participate in this competition, and hence my emotions to contribute something to the society was fulfilled. And I guess that's how one should move forward, by thinking about the intensity a normal phenomenon can have at large. And then motivation will no longer be a distant star. And that's pretty much it, I guess.
Thank you. Moving on to my next question. As part of the Young Reporters for Environment program, how will you encourage the youth to be a young reporter?
So, what I feel, the youth, I believe, is very selfish. One needs to give them bait in order to get their work done. This has been an evolution among people. I don't know why, but it has been. But what I feel is, in order to encourage youth, we must keep in mind the material as well as the psychological aspects. Material aspects can be rewards like trophies, certificates, any recognition, but the other one goes for personality formation, widening the horizon of thinking, and the capability of transforming thoughts into a presentable form, as you have the categories like article, photography, videography. The interpersonal approach works every time, and I'm sure it works for everyone. I have tried this, and you must have tried this as well. We need to talk to as much people as we can. They can be our friends or even our acquaintances. We just need to let them know the benefits of participating in competitions like organized by YRE. Talking to people personally is always a good idea, as it makes our idea socially relevant and works appropriately enough. So that's it.
Thank you
Thank
so much, Mohini, for sharing your frank review. Last but not the least, we have an inspirational story from Dr. Chetna Bharadwaj. Dr. Chetna is a biology teacher and a coordinator of the Eco Schools and the YRE program at Delhi Public School, Nadargul. Dr. Chetna has over 15 years of teaching experience, ranging from PGT science in multiple schools to lecturer in postgraduate college. She is a nature loving personality and has a gardening as a hobby. She has been raising awareness about environmental issues among all her students and associates. Welcome, ma'am. And here is my first question to you. Can you please share about your experience working with the Eco Schools program and the YRE program India?
Yeah. Thank you, Janvi. Good evening to one and all present here. I, on behalf of Delhi Public School Nadargul Management Principal and all my Eco Warriors, would like to thank esteemed members of Team CEE, Eco Schools and YRE for providing this platform to share our experience through Eco School journey. The plans to protect the component of environment are in fact plans to protect humans. Appreciating this saying, Eco School program took off with outstanding spirit in Delhi Public School Nadargul. It involved everyone to take activities and programs which aim to create awareness about environment. About my experience, like the most important key part of our journey was the students' involvement, as children from each class were entailed in the team. The school has been conducting so many eco activities since inception. Like for example, in 2016, when our school started, there was only one tree in 16 acres of big land. So school made many efforts and conducted many activities to make the campus green. But adopting Eco School program was definitely a road that led us towards more environmental awareness, creating community links, and become more sustainable. And most importantly, it has empowered our students to become agents of change by leading the change within our school. The previous year 2021-22 can be marked as momentous, as students not only joined eco activities but also fostered the green movement at school. We took 3 themes: biodiversity, waste, and healthy living. Under the theme biodiversity, students enjoyed making the school grounds more insect, bird, and butterfly friendly. They put bird feeders, bird boxes, different kinds of saplings were planted, and all these activities were monitored, and we found remarkable increase in wildlife within our school ground. As we all know that sparrow is one of the endangered species, our school made efforts to bring it back also. So it was the finest task, as we have little birds flying around in the school corridors and classrooms now. Working for the theme waste, students-led recycling project defines our success. The lessons taught on waste reduction are still continued and they have become integral part of life. One more achievement is that we were able to reduce 70% of waste going to landfills from our school. Apart from these eco activities, our school got opportunity to showcase our work at global level also. School submitted a report on whole school approach being used in practice to engage with SDG 4 to Dutch Ministry of Climate Policy, which got published as a part of the WSC International Conference organized in Netherlands. This report highlights the vision of the school, that is in simple words, academic excellence, integration of art, music and dance, integration of values and physical well-being of students, with giving children an international minded approach to areas concerning the globe. Adoption of Cambridge curriculum to our school to pre-primary branch is also another step in this direction. We have mainly two wings. First is green culture and another is community service initiatives. So Eco School, YRE, Fair Trade, STDs, all these programs taken in school are in sync with the vision of the school. One more, our school is associated with YRE program also, and under which we collaborated with Chateaubriand Junior High School, France. Both the schools worked together and exchanged ideas on common theme, plastic pollution, and how we can reduce at our level. This international program provided our students an opportunity to expose and open themselves to the culture of the partner school, and they learned that or realized that the common environmental issues are global issues and they can be resolved only when they join hands together. So we can see the impact of these all activities on the students also. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to my next question. What challenges did you face during the implementation of both the programs and how did you overcome that?
Yet we faced many challenges like motivation of community. It was very difficult to motivate some like a nearby community. Then sometimes budget restraints also to initiate the program and initiate the activities. Weather conditions also, failure of project. Sometimes what we planned, we could not get it. And top of all that, COVID situation. But simply with like slowly by proper planning, we overcame these challenges. Like when schools were shut down because of COVID lockdown, we took help from our gardener and security staff to flourish our vegetable garden and saplings, what we planted. Even students took handprint actions from the home only.
That's truly wonderful. And my last question for you is, what kind of a change have you observed in your students while implementing this program?
Yeah, definitely. I would say that Eco School has benefited our school in making our students more responsible, more aware, and more involved. And it has been wonderful to see the impact of activities which are carried out under Eco School program. They worked continuously to raise awareness of reducing waste and conserve biodiversity by involving the whole school community. Even parents also have observed that their child had learned new skills and adopted a new behavior for litter handling, segregation of waste, healthy food habits, recycling. Even they suggest their parents to switch off their car engine when they are at traffic lights. So these tiny impacts or these changes, we can see that yes, we have brought some difference in the children's mind.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. And I want to say one more thing, that with the help of our students, parents, team, staff, we are able to secure this prestigious Green Flag Award. And these activities will go on. This award is just one part of our responsibility to prepare our students for a sustainable future. Thank you, Eco School. Thank you, YRE.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much all for enlightening us. And yes, it is important to imbibe the knowledge of the environment and its conservation in the young age. By including environmental studies as a subject in schools, we can make coming generation more sensitized and encourage them to find innovative solutions and methods for the way ahead in order to protect our nature. Thank you all panelists for encouraging reflection. Now I would like to pass on to Anushri, our guest speaker for the day. Over to you, Anushri.
Thank you, Mansi ma'am. It is an honor to invite our guest speaker for the day, Mr. Kunal Gadvi. Kunal Gadvi is a graduate in chemistry and postgraduate in clinical research from MG Science College, Ahmedabad. He has 9 years of experience in sustainable infrastructure projects, special economic zones, special investment region, state industrial policy, Vibrant Gujarat Summit, entrepreneurship programs. Currently, he is working as section officer in Climate Change Department, Sachivalay, Government of Gujarat, for holistic state-sponsored policy mitigation and adaptation of climate change. We will welcome you, sir, and the floor is yours now.
Thank you so much, Anushri Upadhyay ji, Janvi Arora ji, Utsav Modi ji, and Khushbu ji, who invited me for this felicitation program of the Eco Schools and YRE. I'm so blessed and so honored to connect with more than 133 participants for such events. So basically environment and the climate change is actually happening as climate change is real. And the thing is, we at the government of Gujarat has initiated the department since year 2009 for the dedicated for the environment conservation and the climate change. We do have other line department with us, and we are working together for the betterment of the environment and the climate change. But we also have some schemes, as I have also observed that some participants and some my panel member has rightly observed and said about the syllabus on climate change and syllabus about the environment. We officially from the climate change department has consulted the agriculture department and the education department, and we are now moving ahead to encourage and to include climate change as a subject from the standard 5 to standard 12. So it is a very phenomenal activities, and everything which media covers or the institutions and administrations are talking about climate change is not a fancy, it's not a trendy, it's a reality, and there is a amazing career out of it. We as a human being should care about environment we live in. We should not go after the only money, but care about the environment and make career out of it. In government of Gujarat, we have initiated first of all, as there is a horrible picture we keep seeing from our media, and it is a reality that due to global warming, the ice age, the ice are now melting, there is a temperature rising, everything is there, and there is a phenomenon called the carbon sinking, and there is a phenomenon called the carbon capture. So we are moving ahead it, but we need to have some framework to do it. So we need to make industry responsible. We need to include education institutes, include universities to move ahead with us, and we need to give them a administrative and budgetary provision support. So it can be happen. It should not be in a lecture. It should not be only in a motivational speaks, but it should be on a ground. It should be a reality. So what we do in our department, that we are line up with we already submitted our state action taken plan for the climate change department to the honorable government of India, which includes so many, you may say, the diversity such as agriculture, there is a climate change, there is a sea level rising, there is endangered species, there is a green jobs. So we are, see, climate change is a very global issue, and we cannot measure in a tangible things. We cannot say that megawatt, how many megawatt or gigawatt we have produced from the renewable energy, and we can now change the climate. So it is not the phenomena. The phenomena is intangible in nature. The sea level rising is very intangible in nature. And we are here for the global issue. It's not a state issue, though we are working under the state government, but as it's a national forum, and CEE, that is the Center for Education, Environment Education, is also working amazingly for the environment. and the allied services. So I'm thankful to all of you to invite me. So basically what we do is we are making the impact of climate change lesser to the mankind and to the animals and to the mother earth. So we are doing some tangible things such as renewable energy. So we are into solar energy, we are into wind energy, we are into small hydel and tidal energy, and we are first in as far as the solar energy is concerned in the entire nation. We are second as far as the wind energy is concerned. Just leave this number game. But we are also into the some plastic waste. We form some Sakhi mandals who can collect the plastic waste. We just don't give them a you can say the compensation out of it, but we also incentivized whole phenomena to collect the plastic waste and how we make to the waste to energy by the help of the so many another organization which works with us, such as Greer Foundation. We are working with not only state but national and international organizations such as the GIZ and other organizations. We are making and we are doing some awareness program across the nations. We are into the electric vehicles. We are supporting electric vehicles so that we are not much reliable onto fossil fuels, you may say fuels, to the other stuffs. So the thing is, we are kind of advisory. We do about renewable energy, and we are kind of advisory to the state policy. Either it's an industrial policy or it's some port and transport policy. Our department has started in 2014-15 about the electrical vehicles for the students. And now this policy has moved and switched over to the entire nation. I'm so sorry, entire the state, and we have switched this policy to the port and transport department. We encourage people to board a bus and not a private vehicle, so there is a less pollution. So we, along with the 19 department, work for the betterment of the environment and the climate change department, and we are also working towards the climate change impact studies. And there are so many reputed institutes such as CEE, such as MS University, Parole University, Gujarat University. We are working with the scientists. We are giving them a financial support as well. We are so many other things such as a biogas are there. So many other schemes are there. Is either it is tangible or intangible. It is a research based or management based, or there is a you may say renewables support as far as the JEDA is concerned, Gujarat Energy Development Agency. We recently got the first rank for the wind energy for the year 1920. Here it is. We are working with the team with the JEDA, with another department such as a forest department, and Gujarat is the first and foremost state to initiate the climate change department as a whole. The first state to initiate this dedicated department for the climate change. So I welcome every students who are in a primary. They are very cute little kids, and they are choose this. They will choose environment as their career. So it is a win-win situation just for their career also, and also for the environment. So many times I have seen in newspaper that in GPSC or UPSC examination that why should we conserve our nature, and the answer is because environment gives us so much benefits. So this we should change the mindset. We are not saving the environment just because of our selfishness. We are saving the environment because we are part of it. We coexist with the animals, we coexist with the you may say forest. So we do coexist, and we will do with so much sustainability. We are here to encourage young scientists. We are encourage here we are here to encourage everyone who are working for the climate change and the environment. With me, there is a Shwetal Shah, who is a technical advisor to the state government, is much into the climate change and impact studies, and very his service is very invaluable and very important to the state. He also join us and give insights, very important insights to the young minds of the young that UA school, may I say the Eco School and YRE in virtual platform.
Thank you, Kunal Bhai, and thank you, C, for having us with all of you today evening. And I really congratulate all the schools and all the young champions for making something impactful for their own environment, for their own school, for their own house. So what Kunal Bhai has said, that we have policies and programs to support the climate action at the subnational level, at the state level, and also in sync with what our Honorable Prime Minister has said in the Panchamrit commitment of India. However, as an individual, what I can do. So that is the main thing for the student. So today I would like to give a message to each and every student and also the teacher, so that they can encourage students in 4 things. So first is the tree plantation. So this is the right season. Now monsoon is coming. So even one tree we can plant, and we find the area to plant one tree, it will be very helpful to us. So do the plantation activity, do nurturing of the plant, and see them growing with you in your school or near your house. The second thing I would suggest, that do not waste water. So as much as we can do at our home, while we wash our clothes, or we use water from tap. So every time we should be conscious, and we should be judicious in using the water. The third thing I would say is to conserve energy wherever you can do it, at your home, at your school. So don't waste energy. It's a very precious resource for our nation, and we are quite dependent on import of all type of energy sources. So wherever you use public transport, or wherever you can save energy in any form, do that. And fourth thing I would like to suggest today is the waste segregation and waste management. So first, try to reduce the generation of waste, and wherever you generate waste, you please the environment and our surrounding is not degraded, or shall not be polluted. So as a citizen, as a responsible people, and as an educated student, it is our moral responsibility in this way to make our country more better and our future more bright. So this is my today's message on this platform. I would really the efforts done by all of you, which is really.
Thank you so much, panel and CEE and Shwetal Saji for their valuable insights. And I'm really thankful to you that you have give your suggestions about electricity, water, waste management, and the plantation. So that's for the all from our side, from the climate change department. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kunal sir and Shwetal sir, for your enlightening talk on the widely publicized issue of climate change. Now, your discourse beautifully corresponds with this quote penned by Jane Goodall: "What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you want to make." Kudos to you. Now, as sir already mentioned, another alarming subject under climate change is that of plastic pollution. Plastic, as we know it, is cheap, durable, can be easily molded, and does not break easily. As an integral part of our everyday life, plastic is utterly unavoidable. Now, to test your knowledge about plastics, we have an interactive poll lined up for everyone, which will be conducted by Mr. Utsav Modi, who's the focal point for the Tide Turners Plastic Challenge. I would request Utsav sir to take over now.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello, thank you, Anushri, and I would like to say first congratulations to all the winners of Eco Schools and the YRE, and also congratulate all the participants who participated in the competitions and join today with us as a panelist, as attendees. So may I please have a poll? May I please have a poll for the attendees? As Anushri and as Sir rightly said that we are facing a very huge problem in the world and a huge problem in India, that single-use plastic is like very common and we can find anywhere in our nearest location, in our nearest community, and that is what we are supposed to do an action against it. And we are also supposed to do any and a very insightful knowledge we should have to what the single-use plastic is. So we have a poll question to all of you that you may now better know about the single-use plastic and how it works, and how a single person or individual can do about it. So I would like all the panelists, all the attendees to join this poll with us, and let us know like how what the facts do you know about the single-use plastic. So the my first question is, on an average, how long is a single bag or a single-use plastic or a polythene bag is used by a person before we just we just throw it away? So the options are like 12 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, or a 1 week. So these are like this is my first question to all of you. I may request all of you to join this poll and be interactive with the poll, and so we may know better about the single-use plastic, and we also know about the facts about it. The second question is, which single-use plastic do you use the most in your daily life? So the options would be the polythene carry bags, food cutlery, plastic packaging, plastic water bottles. My third question is, why single-use plastics are a concern? So we normally we talk about the single-use plastic and not the other things available in a market or available nearest to it, but we only talk about the single-use plastic. So why we are talking about it? So the options for that are the quantity generated, the degradation takes long time, then the proper disposal and the recycling system is not in a place, or it's convenient to use. So these are like my options to all of you. My fourth and the last question is, what are some of the solutions to resolve these problems? So it can be we can ban the use of the SUPs, or we may ban or we may recycle them, or we may stop production, or we may sensitize the consumers. So these are all the questions to all of you. So I may request all of you to participate in the polls. You may see the questions in your screen. I also request ma'am, teachers and sirs, all and also students, those who are available at here right now. So I may request all of you to join this polls on the facts about the single-use plastics. We are getting a good responses from the attendants and from the panelists as well.
All participants are requested to answer, as we have only 43% of the participation received in this poll. So I request you all to join this poll and answer the questions. We have just 4 answers that you're supposed to answer. And this poll will remain here for 1 more minute and will declare a result.
I'll just go through all the questions. The first question, which you can see over here, that on an average, how long is plastic bag? So we can see that we have multiple, or we have received multiple responses from the participants that it can take almost 1 day, or it can take almost 1 week, or 12 minutes. But I'll share the results once we finish the time limit of the poll, that what is the correct answer for that, or like how many times or how much the time we are consuming for a single-use plastic. So let me just wait for a few more minutes, and I request all of you to join this poll on facts about the single-use plastic. So we may know more about the SUPs, we may know more about the their usage, their wastage, and their degradation, and how it damages to our environment, to our surroundings. So I may request to end the poll, please. Hello. Okay. So now the poll has been finished. So now you can see the answers over here on a screen. That the first question is, as you see over there, that how long is a plastic bag used by the person before being thrown away? The correct answer would be the 12 minutes. Only 12 minutes we are using a single-use plastic before we just throw it away. So that is where the problem begins, because we use it for the only 12 minutes and we just throw it like for almost 400 years or 450 years. So this is where the campaign is designed for, and this is where we need to look on it. So the correct answer for that is a 12 minute. Now, which single-use plastic do you use the most in your daily life? Of course, it is a polythene carry bag, which you can see those who go outside to bring vegetables, to bring a mall, to go to a mall, to bring anything. So basically, first thing which we can think that is the polythene carry bags, and that is why we need to think about it, because the polythene carry bags are like the kabadi wala, pasti wala, they don't bring it, they don't take it, because we can sell them a plastic bottles, we can sell them, or we can sell any other things also made from the plastic, but not we cannot sell them a polythene carry bag. So that is where the problem begins, because we are using most polythene carry bags, and we do not have any alternative, or we do not have any recycling option for that. So this is where the problem becomes, and that is what the bags goes to the rivers and rivers to the oceans, and where the ocean biodiversity or the marine life is eating, and from where it gets damaged. So this is what we need to think about. Then why single-use plastics are concerns? Of course, there is no correct answer or no specific answer for that, but this is what we need to look on it, because it also takes a degradation. It takes so much time to degrade it. Of course, the quantity is being generated is tremendous, that we should think about it, because as of now, whatever the plastics we see over here on our oceans, still like 50% of the plastics still available on Earth right now. Whenever they were like invented 50 years back, still we have like 50% of the plastic currently available, and that is where the quantity is being and that is where the major issue of it. So there are multiple options for the third questions, and this is why just to make you aware about the single-use plastics, and that's why I keep this question as a whole. And the last option is what are some of the solutions to resolve this problem? There are multiple options. We can ban the use of the SUPs. We can recycle them. We can stop the production. We can sensitize consumer. So there are few or many or multiple options available, but what are the options which we can do as an individual, which we can do as our own, or which we can do as a school and as a student or as a teacher? Then we have a very good initiative by the United Nations Environment Program, and that is a tight tunnel plastic challenge. So may I now request Anushri, my colleague Anushri, to give a brief knowledge about the tight tunnel plastic challenge, and let us know like how we can be a part of it and how we can do about it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So now we know about how the single-use plastic pollution is drastically affecting marine life and surroundings. And because of the same, as Kartikeya sir mentioned before, the government is also taking measures like banning certain single-use plastics such as ice cream spoons, polystyrene products, and many more. But you must be wondering, how can you help in creating change? So for that, we have an international platform where you can take part as well as take actions towards single-use plastics. UNEP came up with a campaign, Tide Turner's Plastic Challenge, through implementing partners CEE and WWF in India. The objective of this campaign is to spread awareness and action on single-use plastic waste. This campaign is for students, youths, teachers, and educators aged between 11 to 35 years. Benefit of the challenge is that registered participants will not only receive the international certificate from UNEP, but also will get an opportunity to interact with international platforms, and also you will be able to join the National Youth Summit happening every year. So I hope you will all participate in this challenge. The detail of this challenge is already visible to you on the screen. If you have any further questions, you may write to us. Over to Janvi now.
Thank you so much, Anushri. With this, I would like to propose the formal vote of thanks. What an eventful evening this has been for us. On behalf of the Center for Environment Education, I would like to give our heartfelt thanks to our esteemed speakers for the day, Shri Kartike Sarabhai sir, Ms. Madhvi Joshi ma'am, Ms. Preeti Kanojia ma'am, Mr. Kunal Garvi sir, Mr. Shwetal Shah, who spent their valuable time and graced us with their presence today. I am certain your thoughts and opinions have enlightened our minds and inspired us remarkably. A huge thanks to also our panelists for gracing us with their presence today and their enlightening opinions on the topics. A special thanks to our wonderful team, which is present on the screen here, Ms. Khushbu Shah, Ms. Mansi Shah, Mr. Utsav Modi, Mr. Shreyas Sajeevan, Ms. Anushri Upadhyay, and the CEE team for their concerted efforts. Next, I would like to thank our participant teachers and students who have been actively involved in all of CEE's programs and encouraging the students to take part in all their activities. Lastly, I would like to thank our audience for young leaders for being so wonderful. With this, I, Jahanvi Arora, am signing off. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. All the panelists are requested to stay back for a photo. Thank you.
All panelists are requested to turn on their camera. Kunal sir. Okay. Ready, everyone? Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we can leave now. We can leave.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Everyone.
Anusha.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a nice day.